calling this meeting to order. So we have had several meetings since our last, regular meeting, so we have a lot of minutes to approve. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes held on January 11th. And let's see, that was the regular board meeting, and that's where we talked about the ABC parking, and we also addressed Anthony Ford's zoning request and those types of things. So I've read the minutes. I didn't see anything, so if someone would like to move to approve those.
I'll move to approve them.
Need it.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the meeting's minutes are approved. Okay, then we had a special meeting held on February 28th. And that special meeting was where we basically talked about stormwater management and the need for language on that. And that's where we recommended approval of that to the board with one dissenting vote. So any corrections or additions to that meeting's minutes on the 28th of February?
Not that.
Okay, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Moving right along to the third planning board meeting, which was our workshop, where we addressed, Brian basically gave us, kind of an overview of our roles and responsibilities and all that kind of stuff. We also discussed the steep slope regulations, where Martin and I are going to do some follow-up before our July meeting. And that July meeting will also address the discussion of definitions of uses and that type of stuff. So any corrections or additions to those meetings minutes?
Motion to approve.
All right, move to approve. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. That's approved. That's all the official business besides the review committee that we need to do tonight, unless someone has something they need to bring up, either from staff or whatever.
From us tonight for planning.
Okay. So just kind of a follow-up, our meeting in July, the only thing that's on the agenda so far right now is the review of definitions and uses. And Brian told me this afternoon that there are some definitions and uses that we might want to be working on. And
Yeah, over the next month or so, we'll do some things that we've seen. A couple things that came up as a review when we were redoing our zoning ordinance. We wanted to make sure that we didn't regulate something that wasn't defined, and we did a pretty good job of that. Didn't check so much the other. We have some definitions that aren't necessarily in our uses, so we may need to look at some of those. So I'll be sending some of that stuff out. None of those have come up too much. The only one thing that's kind of popped up, a lady asked about our regulation for telecommunication towers. We have that listed under special uses, but we don't have it very clearly defined there very well. So looking at that, that's sort of a change in landscape anyway. And she doesn't necessarily, the inquiry didn't have a particular property in mind. Most likely when they find, it'll be outside of city limits with the way things run, but it might not be. There is some land within city limits that could be, so that's something we may need to take a look at and make sure we have a good, very clear definition of what those things are that to go along with proper regulation. So I'll be sending out some information. Maybe we'll have stuff, communicate some by email about getting prepared for that July meeting and look at some things to maybe make a recommendation to the main council about some changes maybe to add or whatever.
Okay. If nothing else, our next regular meeting is going to be July 12th at 5 p.m. here. Anything else? Then I will adjourn.
No.
All right. In that case, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, you adjourn.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. We are adjourned. I would like to call to order the Design Review Committee. We're off on that. So we do have our first order of business. We had a Design Review Committee meeting, special called meeting on February 28th. At that meeting, we reviewed design guidelines and made a recommendation for the town council. So those minutes have been given to you. Have you got any corrections or additions of those minutes? Okay, I need a motion to approve.
Make motion.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Those minutes are approved. All right, moving on to the next item is review plans for the new ABC store. We did, prior to this, look at the proposal because there was a discrepancy between the parking requirements for ABC versus the commercial parking requirements. We addressed that issue and made a recommendation to the county, and the county approved at their last meeting the adjustment. So now the ABC board has this, the ABC store has the same parking requirements as all other commercial entities in the town. And so now we have received from Brian the proposed design, which we have to check to make sure that it's in compliance with our design standards. So Brian, take it away.
All right. And just to follow up on the last, you all made a recommendation on Taco Bell with some conditions. They have changed. They have taken the purple and changed that to gray. And so they've approved that, and they should be, all those permits have been approved, and they should be starting on that just as soon as they get materials. But if people always ask when Taco Bell's coming, you can give them a better answer now at this point.
For the paint.
So did you hear anything from the farmer's market since our last
Still have
meeting?
not heard anything
Okay.
from the farmer's market. I'm not exactly sure what the holdup is there.
Okay.
They agreed to do the concrete sidewalks across the driveways.
That part was not an issue. I think they did have to move. They had
They had to
some,
move one.
they had a confusion over that. They were
Yeah.
moving that up closer to where the Fastenal entrance is. I
Mhm.
think those two are gonna be adjacent to each other. But from everything that I've heard, they're still planning on doing it on that style,
Yeah.
unless there's,
Yeah,
again, I told them it wasn't something we could regulate, would require, but
Right.
they would like to have them that way.
yeah.
There's a little bit with that organization, I guess it's a large organization. I was talking to 3 different people, and I don't think they talked to each other well, because they were asking questions. The other one I'd already answered for, but
Right.
anyway, that's moving along.
Yeah.
Today's plan is for the ABC store, just in case anyone doesn't know, this is between Pizza Hut and what is currently AutoZone. It's that empty piece of property. The property itself is 0.769 acres. The structure they're looking to put is 4,922 square feet, 4,922 square feet. By their calculations from that, with the changes to parking to meet whatever other retail establishment would have to be, they would need 15 spaces. They have space for 18 spaces, so they're above that. I hope you all were able to see the diagram. It wasn't the easiest sometimes with the digital media to try to get it blown up to where my eyes could see it, but their entrance is coming off of US 19. They're sharing the entrance there with AutoZone coming in off of there. They also have a back path around that access road that is running. It doesn't actually connect to West Main Street. It connects into the Pizza Hut back parking lot, and that's the access point. So it's not a direct access point from that rear of the building, but the front of the building will be facing toward US 19. They have, again, put in some significant plantings. I think 37 different plantings, including one large red maple tree, a lot of shrubbery and bushes around. They seem to do a pretty good job of breaking up the parking area to where it's not one continuous row of spaces. They put in some bollards and those types of things, some bump outs. Not bollards, bump outs. That actually, I do think they do some bollards as well. The elevations, I hope you all were able to get a copy of the elevations for the building. They were very much, I thought, within the color scheme and exterior finish that is encouraged by our design standards. Quite a bit of glass, especially the front entrance, the main entryway, which meets our void to solid ratio, those types of things. I didn't see anything with just, the dumpster was kind of located to the side rear of the building, but it is behind a full enclosure, which is something that we do require with those. I didn't see anything that stood out to me from our view as far as of our regulations and requirements that caused any red flags. So that's kind of my report. If y'all have specific questions, I'll try to answer those, but that's kind of what I have.
This color chart down here is, does this mean you might change the colors or?
This down here? This is the-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, that's the different exterior things they're using on that building.
oh, they're using all that on
The
there?
different,
Okay.
yeah, the different colors of gray and stone. You can see it's got a stone base basically to it, then going up to a hardy board siding.
Yeah, okay. Thought we might have to choose.
I was a little concerned about what's happening on the Main Street side.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much of that is actually visible, because I know there's a drop off.
There's a grade, yeah.
Yeah, in the auto zone, not too happy with the way that looks.
Uh-huh.
Not so much the building, but just the way the weeds are growing up
Mhm.
on the bank there. If they could treat that somehow.
I'm not
Better
sure.
than they did the auto zone.
Yeah, and I haven't seen, the plat to this property. I know that they've already put in that access road, so I'm
Mhm.
assuming that they're leaving, that the development that they are planning to do from this point forward is from
Yeah.
that roadway toward 19 is the impression that I have, that they kind of put in that access road
Yeah.
with the owners of the property before to
Yeah.
access.
I
our-
actually brought up that same point this afternoon when I was
Yeah.
meeting with Brian, is
Yeah.
we don't have any control over landscaping, but that's basically the only solution that we have. When they choose the orientation of the building, we have requirements for the front
Right.
facing, but we don't for the back facing. And so
Yeah.
just the way those
That-
developments down there have played out,
Mhm.
we're looking at the back side of the building. So.
And with a lot of it, these three parcels right there are a little bit unique in the fact that the road runs so closely to
Mhm.
to
Yep.
both sides of the
Yeah.
property.
Mhm.
Most of our other, even if they adjoin both, have a lot of distance between, but those, it starts to get very narrow as it comes down to there, so you kind of see both sides of the property very easily
Yeah.
with those.
Our only option really is to encourage them to landscape it.
Yeah, well,
to-
that's what I
to-
would do.
To
just
screen it
encourage
if
them to
possible.
Take a look
and-
at that bank and devise a way that you can minimize the weed
Yeah.
growth and
Yeah, even if
so.
you,
And the building itself does have some plantings to the rear, but again,
Yeah.
that's on the other side of
Yeah,
that,
it's on the other
that
side.
access road. It's not on the bank side back there
Yeah,
on the 19.
well,
on the
that'll
Main
still
Street
help
side.
break up the view to the back of the building.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some. But
The only thing I
it's
see.
basically a delivery portal to the
Yeah.
building, and.
Well, that's what we're gonna get on
That's
those
what you're gonna get.
narrow lots, you know,
Mhm.
it's,
Yeah.
cause they're gonna orient towards the larger traffic
Yep.
carrier.
And I think they get a fairly large delivery vehicle that they have to have that space
Yeah.
for that unloading and unloading of their.
And hopefully this will be the end of that scenario, and it won't continue
Yeah, we're-
on up Main Street. We'll get more
I'd say the ones that
building
are there will be
frontage
there
on
for a
Main
while.
Street,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, pretty much all the vacant land's been spoken for now,
yeah.
pretty much. Okay,
I
any,
would also, we've got sidewalks on 19E,
Mhm.
to encourage them to make a sidewalk connection back to that.
Back up
to
through here.
19E.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not gonna get a whole lot of use, but
Right.
maybe employees or somebody's gonna, rather than walking through the mud to get
Okay.
to the site.
I can reach out to the architect and talk to him about making some sort of pedestrian access down to that.
Yeah.
it's not gonna be of much use unless we get it connected all the way up, though.
Right.
That, we've almost
Yeah.
painted ourselves into making that a public, a public undertaking to extend the sidewalks all the way down there, this would be my thought.
Yeah. I don't think it should be public effort, but it should be the developer that provides those.
Well, if we can't do it now, then.
You're talking off the 19 side, right?
Yeah.
Bringing up an access from that.
Right,
that
because there's no
pedestrian access
sidewalk
there.
on
Yeah.
Main
Yeah,
Street.
right.
Yeah. I don't know, it's something to throw at them and see how they respond
Mhm.
to it. I'm all about trying to get pedestrian connections, and
Absolutely.
if one person gets out of it, then the rest of them will say, oh, well, he didn't do
Mhm, that's right.
it. So at least we can ask,
Sure.
can't necessarily require it, I guess. I don't know if the AutoZone has anything like that, maybe they could be,
You look like you were about to say something.
I was just gonna say that they might be willing to consider it,
Sure.
given that they're quasi.
Yeah.
yeah. Usually ABC stores hang around, they don't shift to something else. But other businesses often change hands and turn
Right.
into
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say that'll be the ABC store for here for a
For a
long
while.
time, most likely.
Yeah, we've got it, we'll have it to Taco Bell on the Main Street side,
Yeah, on Cherry
but that
Street.
we don't have it for the fast stop or the auto zone.
Mm.
So there's nothing on either side down there. And there's nothing at the Pizza Hut, but there is on 19E all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and up Cherry Lane as well
Yep.
for the fast stop.
Yeah, I just did the BSF route, the Burnsville Fit Family.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
that's coming up.
you gotta jig and jog to stay on the sidewalk going down West
Yeah.
Main. You gotta cross back and forth, so. So,
Yeah,
all right,
that'll be at the end of the month.
anything else we need to discuss on this? So basically, do we need a motion? It's basically you.
Y'all can make a recommendation to
To
approve,
you.
and then you made the notes that I'll reach out to the developer about
Okay.
making some sort of access to 19 for pedestrian traffic.
Okay. Need a motion?
Yeah, recommend approval with those.
Recommendations?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion is passed.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions or comments or needs? You're here for the ABC or just? Okay.
Okay.
So you can ask questions too if you like.
Possible volunteer.
Oh, great. All right. All right. Well, in that case, I think we're ready to adjourn. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to adjourn passed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.